Right, just looking at the parts now for the floating reamer. Let me just show you what we're going to do. Now, what I'm interested in now is this bit here. And that's the actual bit which holds the reamer. This is the sleeve. It's a Morse taper sleeve. Bought this separate. Bought it from Hemingway. And that's the sleeve that goes in there, but it's got to have a carrier sleeve that fits around it. Because this is not big enough in diameter. So, what they're showing us is it's made in two pieces. And can you see here? It's in two pieces and they're Loctited together. Well, I'm not keen on the idea of that. I think what I prefer to do is make that out of one piece. And what I might do is shrink it on that, or press it on, I don't know yet. I've decided. It's made so it can be removed, so you can obviously put your drift through the hole and get the reamer out. But you have to take this out to get the reamer out. So, I'm not too keen on the idea of that. Which would mean putting a slot. We'd have to put a slot in the side of this here. If we press them together in one piece. So we'll have to think about that, but I've got some material out anyway, which we'll use to make out a sleeve, and it's in the power hacksaw, big piece of 1.5" diameter bar, bright mild steel bar. Right, here we go. Right. And there we go. Excellent. Didn't take too long. I'm not going to show you everything that I do on the boring job. You see quite a lot of turning just lately. I thought I'll give you a bit of a rest from it. Just doing the final drilling operation now. Started boring the hole out here. I'm using a slightly bigger boring bar than the one we did last time. It's doing a good job. I bore this out to 1" diameter. Alright, I'm just going to take a dimension and what I said about the telescoping gauge. Close it down, put it in at an angle, release it, lock it, just push it down, just do that again. And we can check that with a micrometer, see where we are. We're about 15/16, I'm guessing, something like that. That's 1" there, so we got a way to go yet. 9:21. So we got about Alright, we'll get going. Right, this should be the finished pass now. I probably need to take a spring pass after, just to make sure it's cleaned up, but this should be the last one. I've zeroed the DRO out. You can see that. You can see. So if I have to come back to it, I know exactly where I am. I'm just going to take a dimension before we do a spring pass, just in case it's not necessary. Right, there we are now. It's 2.5 under. Just going to let it do a spring pass. Let's just see where it ends up. On that last spring pass, just clean this out. I'll probably not, if it needs anything more, it won't take anything more out. What we'll do is we'll polish it out with the little device, put in the drilling machine in. Put it in there with a piece of emery cloth wrapped around it and just polish it. We get the right fit. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not doing anything more with that. Yeah, that'll be alright. Polish that out then. After we've done all the other jobs. In fact, I might do it now. I'll take a look at the drill. Put a flap up there. Right, excellent. Well, this is our first cut on the outside. We're going to put 50,000s on. 50. There you go. This is 1.5 inches now. It's got to go down to 1.25 inches, so we're taking 1/8 of an inch off each side. So we're taking 50 off. Then we can take another 50 off, and then we'll take the last 25 off. Right, let's just see what this is like. Put in oil. If you have one complaint about the method, it's this here. It's the position of the traverse engagement, for the saddle. When you're turning and you've got hot chips coming off here, they go all over your hand. So a lot of lathes have got this on the far end of the saddle down here. The controls down here or they're here, so they're out the way of this hot swarf. You've just got to be careful when you come to disengage if you've got a fair cut on where you've got hot chips coming off. Yeah, burn your hand with the chips. Anyway, enough of that whinging. Let's put another cut on. 50, let's go to 100. That's another. Right, there we go. Put in oil again. Well, we've got 45 to come off, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 10. Let's take 10. There you go. Oh, jumping the gun a bit there. And that tip's due for changing. See how it goes with these finishing passes. If it does a good job, we'll leave it. If it doesn't, we'll change it. Okay, we were going to turn that taper first, but I just realised there's something I need to do before we move the compound over. We've got to put the knurl on there. You can just see it on that drawing, can't you? It's a knurl. It shows a straight knurl on here. You can do whatever you want. We'll be doing a straight knurl, and I'm going to use the dividing feature on the head for this. So I'll put a tool in the tool post, and we'll use it like a shaper then. Just scratch a line, index it round 1, 2, scratch another line, and keep doing that. It doesn't take long at all at any time. So we're going to work on that first. When you put a little recess or a run out for the knurl, and then we'll just get on with the knurling. Right, what I'm going to do now, I've got a thread cutting tool here, a 60-degree thread cutting tool. We're going to put a little chamfer on the end, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a recess where our knurl runs out. Just put a little bit of oil on there. That's it. It's high-speed steel. Right. Okay, that's that. Right, I'm just getting set up for cutting the knurl. I'm just going to engage the dividing system into the 0 to 60 teeth, so we'll do 60 cuts. Right, so that'll be the first one. Just going to touch it with feel. I would say that was about right. Let's do that again. That's good enough. I'll put 6,000s on. Now below the default, go 70. There you go. We'll call that 0, so in case we move it, a bit of oil on here. Up and around. Right. Leave that where it is. Just keep indexing it. First one. Second one. See? Quite easy. If you're trying to use one of them straight knurl tools, it might take you a shorter time, but this gives me good results. back around to 0. There you go. There you are, look. That's off a nice looking knurl there. Actually grip that with your fingers properly. Very uniform, easily manufactured. Minimum bending. Or if you've got one of them single rolls and you're pushing on that, you get a lot of bending forces involved. I think ours turns out quite nice. So let me just move that out and check, make sure we haven't missed any. It's all there, isn't it? Yeah. I'm happy with that. You see that okay? Alright, what we've done is we've got our party tool set. Now I've got the depth there, 2 inches. Okay, so it's gonna, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in so far. That gives us a run out for our taper. Going so far, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? I won't be able to use this unless I have that far way out. That can go quite a way over, so I think we'll be alright with that. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with that. Right, I thought I'd have to move this because I wouldn't have the adjustment here. Alright, let me do this then. It's all locked off. Let's get cracking. Alright, that'll do. We've got somewhere to aim for now without taper. So right, we've got a 0 point set on the DRO, so we can go back to that. Let's get rid of this swarf. Right, now we can turn the taper. Make sure, yeah, we can get it, can't we, look? We'll lock that there because we're not going to move the saddle now. We're just going to operate compound, and we can put the feet on with the handle here. Yeah. In oil. Just a couple of thousands, that's all we'll do. Don't need to do much more than that. This tape will come in quick. Right, let's just have a look at that. What does it look like? Well, I think I might leave it like that. I'm going to put a chamfer on. Put a chamfer on. I'll chamfer that and I'll chamfer the groove there, parting groove. Okay. I'm just going to chamfer. Just have a look. There we are. Okay. Alright, and that's our piece. You can see that now, can't you? Shift the big burr off the end. But that's the turning work completed on this then. We've got to cut a slot that way. Right, let's clean it up. Alright, here's our sleeve. You'll see me make that on the lathe. It's a nice part, that is. Let's just do the close-up function thing. Hopefully it will function. Close up. You can see that now. It's actually a good fit. This is the most tapered sleeve that's supposed to fit in there, and then that edge will be level with that, so that would fit in like that there. And what we have is there's got to be a slot cut across there, and that's the driving slot. This would be a good fit in here actually, it really would. Alright, I've got the drawings here. It's item 4 on the drawing. It's a pivot plate. Pivot plate, can you see? Yeah. It's called a pivot plate. So we've got to make that. Alright, we just faced the pivot plate off, or driving plate, which fits inside the body of the floating reamer. Just faced it off. We've got to drill it. We're going to do a counter bore, which we'll use. What should we use for that? I'll just use a boring bar. I haven't got a 1/2 inch slot drill. Okay. Yeah, and now we've got to turn the taper on the outside, and then we are going to part it off. We're going to part it off. And then when we do the slot going across, we're going to clamp that onto one of our fixtures to allow us to do that on the milling machine. Okay. I'm going to center drill. I've made progress. I'm ready to part this off now. So let's get ready tape. It's all locked off. Yeah. Put some speed. case you wonder what the noise is, it's absolutely throwing it down outside. Anyway, let's not worry about that. There you are, we've got our piece. I just need to deburr the back here. And then what we'll do is we'll mount that on one of our fixtures in the milling machine and we'll cut our slot in it, our driving slot. We've got a couple of holes to drill for driving pegs. We've got a slot one way and then at 90 the other way we've got 2 driving pegs. Excellent. I'm pleased with that. Right, we're starting to get ourselves a nice little collection of finished, well, semi-finished parts. All the big turning parts are done now. That was the last piece we just made, that one there. It's a driving disc. Fits inside the body. And it will fit. This is our sleeve. The Morse taper, 2 shank goes in there. That'll fit on there. Maybe driving pegs to drive between them. And the 2 driving pegs in the bottom of this will drive into the collar of the sleeve, like that. We've got a bit of milling work to do and drilling of holes for dowels for driving, so we've got to do that yet. The only thing left to turn really is we've got this here, that, and 2 work together. And we've got to do this tool at the bottom here for swaging the dowels in. So that's all we've got to do. We've got some silver steel we've got to turn. 2 small components, and these will be, well, there's one more piece we've got to do after this. But I'll just show you what we're doing. Okay. Right. There's 2 pieces, this one here and this one here, and they've both got to be hardened and tempered as well, and they fit in the middle of the body, and they're all to do with the transmission of the force onto the reamer from the socket. You can see they're inside here, you can't see them very well, but they're inside here as well. But when we put it all together it'll become self-explanatory. The only thing after these 2, the only thing we've got to make after them 2 is the tool that we've got to make down here. I mentioned that to you the other day. We're going to do that as well. We're going to do this one first here, which looks like that. And it's done. Okay? And then when we've done that, we'll do the second one. And we'll make the swaging top tool as well. Right, let's have a look what we're doing then. See like that. Right, that's our first thing we're going to do. We're going to turn it down to 3/8 diameter for, you know all the dimensions backwards on here. 7/16 minus 1/8 is 5/16. Our finishing pass there. We're just 1 under now, so that's okay. I'm going to chamfer these edges. Right, I'm just in the process of chamfering the groove. I've just started parting off. There's that back. And take the chamfer tool out. Put that there. Back into 0. set of operations done. What we're going to do now, because we've already got this in, but I don't want to take it out just yet, we might as well turn the other piece, part that off, and then that one's done. This one here that we just parted off, we've still got to drill a hole, and we've got to put a big chamfer in there, 60-degree chamfer. So, it's still hot. What we'll do, we'll machine this then, and then we'll part it off, and then we'll do the other bit. Today I'm just looking at, I've been looking at finishing off all the turning work on our floating reamer project. And I've done all the turning work now. These are the last pieces I've made. I'll just show you them. In fact, let me just tilt the camera down, it'll be easier for you to see. Can you see them there? That's it. These are the two pieces which go inside the body. And this is the little tool which is used to swage the material around the dowels so they don't come out. Now all these three pieces here have got to be heat treated, so we're going to harden and temper them, and that's what we're going to do now. I didn't show you the turning of all these parts quite simply because you've seen a lot of turning just lately. The whole project's been turning really, nothing else so far, turning and a bit of drilling and some marking out. So I didn't show you the turning of these, but I thought what we'll do, we'll have a look at the heat treatment. We'll get the little hearth out in the corner there and we'll put it on the welding bench and we'll do the heat treatment over there. Alright, I'm just by the welding bench now and I've just got my engineer's black book because it's got all the heat treatment colours and things in here. Now can you see? Now we've got hardening at the top and then we've got tempering at the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to heat it up so it's cherry red first and quench it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reheat it so that it becomes blue, and then we're going to quench it. And that'll be quite satisfactory for what we want. Second one. Right, what we need to do now is just polish some parts up enough so that we can see the colours, see the blue when it moves through the steel. And when it gets to the blue, we'll quench it again. So I'll start polishing them up and then we'll come back and do the tempering. We'll see the colours move down the metal. Okay, well there you are. You've seen us harden and temper the three pieces. I've got them in my handy, I'll just show you them. Well, you've seen them when I was hardening and tempering them. There you are, there's our special tool. I haven't bothered polishing that up. I've cleaned the cone inside there. That's the working part of this. And that face there is clean, it's nice and smooth. So we've got all these pieces here. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to use this tool and see what it's like. It's swaging the material around the dowels that we put in the body. I'm intrigued to find out what this is like. Right, there you are, you can see. I'm using the jaws just to support the dowel underneath, even though they're Loctited in. Right, okay. certainly upset the material. Let's try the other one. It's okay. Let's make sure this one's done. And this one. Well. What does that look like inside? Oh yeah, you can actually see it's done that. It swaged the material in. Alright, okay. Doesn't want to... There you go, that's better. I don't think you can't see very well. It's difficult because it's dark in there. Anyway, it's actually swaged the material over into the dowels. Oh well, that's interesting. Right, well, there we go. We've made a few pieces now. We've still got work to do on things like this, got some milling to do. That would go in there. That goes in there, like so. So we've got a little driving plate. Then we've got this piece which holds the Morse taper sleeve. And then we got the clamping ring which goes on the outside. We've still got some milling to do, so we need to sort that out. But that'll be the next operation. Will be the we've got to cut a slot across there, and we've got to cut a slot. Which way round is it now? I think it's that way. Yeah, and then two holes we've got drilling for two driving pegs. Well, we're getting close to completing this now. And I'm quite looking forward to testing it out, see what it's like. Certainly if you're using this in the drilling machine, just because of that driving mechanism with the pegs and whatever, what have you, you couldn't run that fast at all. I wouldn't want to use it more than greater speed than, you know, your slowest speed for reaming or for tapping or whatever. You just, I think it would just disintegrate at any fast sort of speeds. So I keep it really, really slow. I wouldn't push your luck with it. But I'm pleased with how this has progressed. I really am. I'm going to be down the railway tomorrow, the Severn Valley Railway. So I'm going to have a tidy up, clean things down. Probably get rid of some swarf again. And then I'll continue probably on Tuesday. Make some more progress. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday we'll have this project complete. Depends what other things I've got on. But anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.